Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Berean TV. We living in the season of the ex-pastors that became woke. This brother Tamel, we were back and forth. We spoke. Ex-pastor Ray Hagan, now ex-pastor Kevin Wesley. As a matter of fact, Kevin Wesley was getting a little more light before the brother Tamel. And shout out to them cats, but I've been trying to dialogue with them. Tamel, ex-pastor Kevin Wesley, Ray Hagan, we can talk. And the reason that I'm saying this is because we've had all type of people in the conscious community, and we're going to talk about conscious deceptions. Because people almost from the beginning, especially in Harlem, New York, here we've in Philadelphia, we've always had cults. Daddy Grace and so many other people, so many other more Science Temple, and they've always pulled from the church. They've always pulled believers. So when you say that you're an ex-pastor, automatically automatically Ray Hagan's have an ear for some church people, for some people that have questions about the Bible and history and religion, because he's an ex-pastor. So there's an authority that he have that's above Sarah Sutton Seti, that's above young Pharaoh, and that's above polite, because those guys, they just in the street, they never said they were involved in what we call the five or the fivefold ministry. But it seems like there's a movement now. We got a few pastors coming out trying to get light, and people are listening to them, and they're saying because these guys were pastors, and myself, I used to be a pastor also, and automatically they're thinking that they know more Bible. There has to be something with the Bible that these people found out, so they're gathering a following. I want y'all to know that you can't be deceived. And like I said, ex-pastor Wesley, I've been calling you out. Let's dialogue. We don't have to debate. We can dialogue. We can go on Facebook Live for posterity's sake. Let's bring it out. I don't want you to be deceived. Now, there's one or two reasons. Either y'all are doing this for bread, because people have always pulled from the church to get people from the church to form their cults. The More Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, they use the white image of Jesus, Hebrew Israelites, and those have always been big marketing tools. The good ship Jesus, the white image of Jesus. How can the Bible be true? Because they gave it to us, the white man gave it to us at slavery, and all of these other things. Now, it's either you're doing this for money, because there is money and pimping in the conscious community, and leaders and teachers know that. Other people don't know that. Oh yeah, let's get together, family. Omar Johnson, got to call him out too. What is the church doing with the money? Where's that $2 million? You had a couple of $100,000 that you were collecting for a school, and we don't know where it's at. And you jumping on the morning show talking about what the church doing with the bread. Now, I'm going to talk about them pastors too with the bread. There's a woke movement of believers. And we online and we want to discuss. We calling some of y'all out. We want to talk to y'all. Now, that brother Tamel said he went to Moody Bible Institute and all of this stuff. All of y'all are students of Walter Williams. Plain and simple. Ray Hagan, when they start talking about Christianity was invented at the Nicene Council, that Hadrian letter from prior to that, y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. But I do know that 30 years ago, 28 years ago, Walter Williams dropped his book. He was talking about this back in the days before I heard of Ray Hagan, before I heard of Kevin Wesley, before I heard of young Pharaoh, before I heard of Sarah Sutton Seti. 28 years ago, I was involved in the conscious community. I never heard of these dudes. But now y'all are here saying when Christianity was invented, and it's going against all history. If history say Rome was the city was on fire, and Nero blamed it on the Christians, and that was 64, 68. AD, how can y'all say Nicaea invented Christianity? That's another thing. I want to explain something to y'all. And Kevin Wesley, I see you coming out here making statements. You don't know enough about the ancient doctrine. You don't know enough about history. If you just put the Bible down 2-3 years ago and you just picking up this consciousness and the book of the coming forth by day, you're not steeped in it yet. That's how come when you first came out, I said maybe you need to just lay low and you just need to learn what you need to learn. Not come out here telling people the Bible is fake and I found a new light. You can't even build on the Metunetta. But you out here with a movement. Now I want to let y'all know that people would start these movements, and young pseudo, everybody, they'll start these movements to say, start collecting money. We got to do, I want to make change. Everybody send me $20 and all of this stuff. Everybody in the conscious community is doing it. Either pimping by doing lectures, pimping by collecting, I'm going to make a change, or the brother came home from jail. I'm going to take over the conscious community. Black people, we starting a movement. And y'all remember Marcus Garvey had millions of followers or hundreds of thousands of followers, depends on who you ask. And he wanted a movement. A lot of people are trying to do the same thing. But at the same time, they're collecting money off of you people. Off of you people. Don't think Kevin Wesley ain't collecting no money. He rapping, dancing. He just trying to do what he trying to do, and I'm not mad at him. But at the same time, you not going to sit here and promote no false history. Kevin Wesley, Ray Hagen, y'all not going to promote no false history, and I'm going to sit back and let that happen. Can't do that. Stafalaz, the Islamic brother would say. God forbid. Now, why do I say that? I used to be part of the conscious community. I see Kevin Wesley just recently posted something with Anthony Browder. He's been doing this for 30 years. And I used to love Anthony Browder and Dr. Ben and Kersey Graves, Gerald Massey. I would count Volley. I was obsessed with Charles Finch and all of them. Got all of their books. I was obsessed with that. But I started to notice something when I learned how to do research on my own. When I began to understand what a primary source is, a secondary source is, what revisionist history is, I come to find out certain things. Have white folk lied? Absolutely so. White folk done lied. White folk done lied. Now, y'all might say, well, how are you a Christian and me saying that? That's the truth of the matter. They've lied about history. Not everything, though. So I can't rewrite history just to make black people feel good. What y'all saying? A whole bunch of, and Anthony Browder said it too. Oh, the Europeans shot the nose off the Sphinx. But now we have proof to the contrary. That's not true. Y'all still promoting that. This is where the 21 gun salute came in the military. The white man bringing about the death of the black man, and the military is proving it. But you got to be Masonic to understand it. All that's madness. All of that's madness. We have pictures before Napoleon and his people that the Sphinx was already was disfigured. Plain and simple. White people couldn't read or write until they came in contact with us. When did the Iliad and the Odyssey come about? When were Europeans in 450? When were Europeans visiting the priest in Egypt? All the priests in Egypt were all blacks. That's a whole nother thing right there. But there's a lot of stuff that's just straight lies, plain and simple. White folk knew how to read. White folk were already doing writing. So all of this, all things like that. That's the problem. And because blacks are upset at whites, you got leaders that'll come up and steal people out of the church. The white man been lying, so the book is a lie, and all of this stuff, man. Listen, we calling y'all out. It's some woke believers out here. It's a community of woke believers, and we calling y'all out. Y'all not just going to spread these lies. Heru and Jesus is the same story. Show and prove with primary sources. Y'all get spooked out. Ray Hagen got spooked out. Go with Ashwa Kwesi. He's showing you some pictures on the wall. That's primary, and he's reading the glitch. He's telling y'all anything. And y'all coming back thinking y'all Egyptologists. Come on, man. When you go back and you do the research, Kevin Wesley, all of y'all are quoting Walter Williams. All of y'all are quoting Kersey Graves and Gerald Massey. And they're 125-year-old works, and they were amateurs in the field. I often tell y'all, when you start going to that Heru story, go to Richard Carrier. He got a PhD in the field. He's an atheist. He hates Christians. But he's going to say, don't use world's 16 crucified saviors, and y'all are constantly doing it. And everybody y'all are quoting, including Anthony Browder, everybody that y'all are quoting, they're quoting Kersey Graves. They're quoting Helen Blavatsky. They're quoting Gerald Massey. This is why we say in the woke conscious Christian community, this is why we say that y'all are built off of European doctrine, European Freemasons, European spiritualists. That's another thing. Shout out to my man Dr. E, the General. Salute the General. My man Pastor Jerome Gay. There's some people out here, Dr. Richardson, my man Adam Coleman. There's some people out here. We want to talk to you. We want to talk to you, ex-pastor Kevin Wesley. We want to talk to you, Ray Hagen. We want to talk to you. Y'all making all these statements, but y'all don't want to sit down at the table and build. I don't care about SETI and them. Y'all are trying to deceive people and drag people out the church, and no, this isn't no move. Oh, the Christian apologists are working for the pastors because people are leaving the church. We're going to discuss all that, young people, because I'm old folk, love the church. They stuck in religion. And when we're talking about religion, I want to explain something to y'all. And it may seem like I'm rambling, but I'm going somewhere. I'm trying to explain something to y'all. In your spiritual walk, you always get to a fork in the road. A lot of people that came out of church, they got to a fork in the road. Recently, a lady dropped a video on Facebook crying and all this carrying on about why she walked away from the church, why she left the church. She believed in God, but she walked away from the church because she did not like certain things that was going on in the church. In your spiritual walk, when you get mature, you'll begin to understand certain things. In your spiritual walk, you always come to a fork in the road. And that fork in the road is when you're growing in religion or a spiritual system. Are you going to follow the pastor or are you going to follow God? A lot of what the pastor say isn't always God. The pastor don't have to tell you who to marry and what to do and where to live and what car to drive. And a lot of y'all get spooked out and y'all just want to follow everything the pastor say. Now, nobody is perfect, but God got the ability to work and use people. But the Spirit oftentimes will tell you something and people run in confusion when they hear the Spirit saying something to them and what the pastor is saying is contradicting that. And then that's what we call the fork in the road right there. Are you going to go with the Spirit or are you going to go into the cults? Most cults come from people that already believe in God. Most cults, go back and do the history on cults. If you just do the history on cults, everybody have pulled from the church people that were believers. Are you going to follow the leader or are you going to follow the creator? And a lot of times that's how the Apostle Paul says, follow me as I follow Christ. You got to be careful. And a lot of people don't understand that fork in the spiritual road, so they get a little bit confused and they just want to drop out of church and all of that. Now, when the conscious community say things, I'm talking to you church people now, when the conscious community say things that are right and exact, when they say certain things, people tend to get upset. But it's on a lot of you believers to put pressure. Why are you going to a church if the church is not doing in the community? That's a question right there. A pastor that's not doing in the community, I don't care nothing about him because he's not following what he's supposed to be doing. He's not following what he's supposed to be doing. And yes, you're supposed to visit those that are in prison. You're supposed to have some type of system set up. Not you specifically going, but y'all got to care about the brothers that's in prison. Shout out to my people that's taking care of them brothers in prison and taking care of their children and giving them gifts for the holidays and just trying to do something for them to uplift those people. Shout out to my man Chaplain Butts. We spoke for a good while. We spoke for a good while this week, but I just wanted to drop this video. I want to talk about some other things. But Kevin Wesley, you just running your mouth. Tamel, you just running your mouth. We want to talk to you. We've been asking you. My man, brother Julius online, Pennyman online, Eric online. There's a whole bunch of us in this conscious, woke Christian movement, and we want to talk to y'all. We're not just jumping and rolling up underneath the pew in church, speaking in no tongues. We want to talk to you. We challenging y'all on primary sources. We got them books. Don't make me go down there messing with my man Dr. E and them. It's a library down there. What they call that baby, what they call that thing? The Dewey Decimal System. Book game heavy right now. Turn the camera on. Let's go live for posterity's sake. We want to talk to y'all. Y'all say y'all been in the book. Y'all got history down packed and the Bible and deception and King James. Let's talk about all of that. Shout out to my man Eric, Dr. Pastor Stefan down there in Marietta. Shout out to them. There's some cats out here not playing with you. We're not playing with you, Kevin Wesley. We're not playing with you, Ray Hagan. We're not playing with you, Tamel. You say you were ex-pastor, went to Moody. We want to talk. We want to talk. That's all we want to do. I'm not going to do like Adam and sit here texting y'all all day. My man Julius back and forth banging on y'all all day. Let's turn these cameras on. We want to talk. My name is Brother Barine. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Thanks for watching.